Have you ever sent an email that felt totally justified in the moment, but later you realized it cost you trust you never got back? Most lawyers have done this, or at least come very close. You fire off a message because you're busy, irritated, or trying to be efficient. It feels direct, it feels necessary. But then something changes. The client goes quiet, a relationship cools off, the tone shifts, and you can't quite put your finger on why. A lot of angry emails don't explode right away. They quietly damage your reputation over time, and that's what makes them so dangerous. What I want to show you in this video is how to avoid that silent damage, how to protect your credibility and authority without being passive, soft, or slow. Here's what I'm going to go over. First, whether pausing before you respond actually matters, or if this is just being overly cautious. Second, what to do in real time when a client, staff member, or someone online irritates you and you feel that urge to respond immediately. And third, what the right alternative actually looks like, so you can stay professional, authoritative, and in control without letting things drag out or make yourself look weak. This is practical stuff for situations you deal with every single week. Let's start with something most lawyers don't like to admit. There are emails and texts you sent that you would never say out loud to another human being. If that person were sitting across from you, there's no chance you'd use that tone. But behind a screen, it feels different. You type quickly, you're blunt, maybe a little sharp, and you hit send. Digital communication creates distance. That distance lowers your guard. It makes reacting feel safer than responding. But here's the problem. The person on the other side doesn't experience your stress, your workload, or your good intentions. They only experience the words. No tone, no facial expression, no context. The inbox isn't informal just because it feels that way. Every message is still a professional interaction, and very often it's a high-stakes one. A lot of lawyers believe that fast responses equal good service. Speed feels professional, it feels efficient. But emotional speed is often the opposite. When you respond too fast, while you're irritated, frustrated, or defensive, you create confusion, resentment, or escalation that takes far more time to clean up later. Real professionalism isn't about being instant. It's about being intentional. Emails, texts, and DMs strip away everything that helps people interpret your meaning correctly. What feels clear and direct to you can feel cold or dismissive to the person reading it. This is especially risky with clients. They're already stressed. They're already worried. They're emotionally invested. And when a message lands wrong, it doesn't matter what you meant. In communication, perception is reality. And this goes beyond client service. Every message you send is a leadership signal. Clients are watching how you respond when things get tense. Staff are watching how you respond under pressure. Opposing counsel and even the public are watching too. How you communicate in stressful moments becomes part of your reputation. A calm, measured response builds authority. A reactive one signals volatility, even if you're technically right. Pausing isn't weakness, it's control. Now that brings us to the core rule. Pause before you send. The pause creates space between emotion and action. And that space is where judgment, strategy, and professionalism live. Feeling irritated is normal. Wanting to respond is normal. Letting that emotion dictate your communication is what causes problems. The goal isn't to suppress emotion, it's to stop emotion from driving the message. One of the simplest tools here is the 24-hour rule. When you get the email, the text, or the letter, write your response. Say everything you want to say. Get it out of your system. But don't send it. Give it time. Sleep on it. When you come back the next day, the tone almost always changes. You're clearer, you're calmer, and you usually say less. but just also say it better. This isn't for routine updates. This is for emotionally charged situations. It's not avoidance, it's a strategic delay. Sometimes the real issue isn't how you're writing, it's that writing is the wrong tool altogether. If there's frustration, misunderstanding, defensiveness, or repeated back and forth, a written response often makes things worse. That's a signal to pick up the phone or schedule a meeting. Many times the best outcome of pausing isn't a better email, it's choosing a better medium. Most digital drama is preventable. When you slow down, choose the right way to respond, and act with intention, a lot of problems never escalate. You deal with fewer fires, fewer emotional exchanges, and far less cleanup. You gain more control over your time, your energy, and your reputation. Angry emails don't just cost you peace of mind. Over time, they cost trust, authority, and credibility. Following this rule is the best method you have to maintain good client relations, a positive professional reputation, and a brand in your community that will allow you to thrive well into the future.